Okay, so my name is Francesco Accatino. I'm from INRAE. So I had the honor to be part of this deliverable in the mixed project, in which we set up a theoretical framework for studying and approaching mixed systems. So, of course, the presentation is by me, but here there is work of other people from the project. Indeed, this is deliverable 6.1, in which you can find the information more in detail. So in this presentation, I'm going to give an overview. I don't go into the details, but in this deliverable, you can see the details. And a big thank to all the contributors that appear here. First of all, let's speak. Okay, why did we need a framework? So we are dealing with the mixed systems. And I'm from a Fabio presentation, I'm pleased to see that also AGROMIX used a framework, because we need the framework. We need to organize concepts. We have these systems, the mixed system, and we need to give a meaning. It means that we need to agree to set a common ground on how concepts are defined, how the concepts are interlinked, and how we can organize the tools that we have and the knowledge that we can use for assessing this system. And we needed this in the project because we need to work together. We have different backgrounds, and it's of course important to bring many points of view together. So actually, this was important for us to a framework that shows how the different parts of the project are linked together from an operational point of view, but also on a conceptual point of view. And the idea of this seminar is to open and to speak across projects so that we can enlarge this vision and exchange the experience with the other projects. And of course, this will be the purpose of also the breakout session. In the breakout sessions, there will be interactive sessions in which we try to bring our points of view together in order to discuss some concepts. So how did we do in mixed? So for the preparation of the deliverable, we did 3 meetings in which we used some whiteboards, some virtual dashboards. We were in full COVID time, so we were very expert in using this kind of virtual tools. And we organized the information. We organized the information. We are alternating, how to say, sessions in which we write on a post-it and sessions in which we speak. And then everything was wrapped up in the deliverable. And indeed, here we are going to do the same in the breakout session. Of course, it will not be completely the same because people are different, and people different is a different experience. But the exercise will be the same, and we will have the pleasure to exchange and to try to dialogue among projects and among disciplines, because economists, social scientists, modelers, we speak different languages, but we address the same concept. So let's try. And also now I'm going to give you some teaser, let's say. I will not go into depth because I don't want too much to, how to say, to influence what will happen in the breakout session. So I will explain just an overview. Okay, so first thing, in mixed, we specifically address different levels. So we have different work packages dedicated to different levels: farm, landscape, value chain, country, and Europe. So, and this is, of course, this reminds to the slide of Fabio, which shows the different layers and how they interact. And so it's one of the first difficulties to say, okay, we have many concepts, and they have to apply to farm, to landscape, to value chain. And if they apply to this level, they slightly change the meaning. Yeah, so why different levels? Because different levels are linked with different stakeholders. Farm is, there is a farmer, country, there is a policymaker. Different actors involved, different dynamics, different outputs. We have some phenomena which are visible only at certain scale. For example, the provision of some ecosystem services are visible at the landscape scale or at the farm scale. The interaction among the actors, among the farmers, they cannot be seen at the farm level, but at the landscape level. So this is one of another reason, and actually the Fabio's slide showed very well this, that the levels are interconnected, and there is a flow of information which is upscaling and downscaling across levels. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's speak first about the definition of mixedness. Mixedness, I don't know if there is a mixedness in the English vocabulary, but I think it's a comfortable, practical concept that we need. Then let's speak about transition. So transition from a system to a system with a higher level of mixedness. Evaluation, and then I will show how this all brings to the framework. So mixedness. What was very, how to say, everybody agreed about that, was that mixedness requires a diversity of activity. So activity can be livestock, can be crop, can be forestry, but it's, of course, it's not enough, because we need diversity and also interaction among components. This is important, but still probably it's not enough, because we do have open questions, because for example, is a mixedness something that we can quantify? For example, can we quantify in some way the degree of interactions among components? This is an open question, I would say. Then also in our discussion, we said maybe we should also consider economic functions. For example, if agrotourism is a form of mixedness among different activities, or we just stay on the biophysical system. So, and of course, mixedness has different meanings in different levels. So at the farm level, we find this agreement that there is a complementarity among elements that overall bring to the closing of the nutrient cycle. So, for example, we have forms of complementarity, like byproducts of an activity that are used as an input of another activity. For example, manure that goes from the livestock compartment to the crop compartment. Landscape. So at the landscape level, what becomes important is the interaction among farmers. So at this level of a landscape, we can have some farms that are specialized, but they are complementary. For example, in the French case study of the mixed project, we have in the uplands, on the mountains, we have farmers specialized in livestock, and in the lowland, we have farmers specialized in crop cultivation. So two specialized parts can give life to a mixed landscape. And of course, at the landscape level, what becomes visible is the interaction between agriculture and the natural resources. So we can speak about ecosystem service, etc., etc. Then it becomes more and more difficult, because what is mixedness in value chain? So actually, it's more about how value chain can be adapted to value the products of mixed systems. So how they are shaped so that they bring a shorter value chain, a better focus on quality, and so on. And more and more difficult to speak about mixedness at the country or Europe level. So here it's the question is more how mixedness is related to policy targets. So food security, rural vitality, soil health. And of course, it's about how a country can promote mixed systems within its boundaries. So, which is it's about identifying the different parts of the different territories of the country and promoting mixed systems all over. But of course, it's to be decided the level of integration, the level of the pertinent level of scale that it's the pertinent scale to address. And so transition is okay. We are in a situation which is the observed system, and we go to a target system. So of course, this has a different meaning. At the farm level, is about the mindset of the farmer. At the landscape level, is about building trust. So how farmers can start to dialogue, to exchange feed, exchange manure. At the value chain, is about finding additional outlets for the products of mixed systems. And at the country level, it's about, and European level, it's about policy making. It's about finding the best policy targets. And there are concepts related to transition. So the barriers along transition, there are some barriers, some enablers, some actors that promote enablers or are responsible of barriers. There is an historical concept, geographical concept to be considered, and a monitoring activity along the transition. And so this is very conceptual, but we collected some examples. So in the deliverable, we divided into different categories and different levels. And for example, here there are examples of barriers at the environmental, economic, social, and institutional. Okay, evaluation. So what is why we need to evaluate? We need to evaluate because of many things. We need to compare. If we have many systems in the around Europe, we can compare, and we just compare one another. Or if we are in a transition, we can have different scenarios of different possible target systems. We can compare how this possible future system can perform. And monitoring can be something for which evaluation is useful. So, and I will show you later that there are many dimensions to consider. There is about sustainability, efficiency, resilience. and we are interested in seeing if there are trade-offs or synergies among the different dimensions. So quantification is a kind of key. Let's say, if we want to evaluate, we need some numerical values. We have the properties of the system and we have to quantify, or even in a qualitative way, but we need to assign scores or values, let's say. And we identified different issues, sustainability, efficiency, or resilience. Those are parts of the system that we are interested in evaluating. Of course, sustainability, it's about many different pillars. So we have environmental pillars, economical, and social pillars. Because the important thing is that agricultural systems are not only about food production. It's also about the wellness of the farmer, the animal welfare, the economic viability. So, for example, we have three. Those are three examples, but in Mix we developed a handbook of indicators that we use for collecting data. For example, some soil carbon indicator, net profit, animal welfare, some indicators of efficiency also. So efficiency can be defined as the idea of producing deliver output with the lowest possible use of resources, waste, or side effects. And so it's kind of a ratio. For example, meat production per unit of greenhouse gas emission is a form of efficiency. Crop production per unit of workforce. And resilience. Resilience is about the capacity of delivering functions facing a disturbance. For example, if there are feed reserves, the system is likely to resist some droughts. The drought is a disturbance, and the feed reserve are a capacity of the system to continue functioning despite a disturbance. The diversity is also an indicator of resilience. So then I go to the framework. So we build in this way. So we start with the current system that needs to be defined. The current system, we address the transition to possible future scenarios, and we also deal with some desired system. Across this transition, we deal with what are the enablers and what are the barriers. And then we have the evaluation tool, which applies to the current system that we can measure, the hypothetical future system that we also can measure, and the monitoring. And we have the performance tool, which is a set of indicators about environmental, economic, social, efficiency, and resilience. So, of course, if we have a system, we can measure data. For future systems, they don't exist. We cannot measure them, but we have other tools, which are models, which are participatory workshops, in which, at least qualitatively, we can evaluate with the help of the stakeholders. And of course, this applies to all the levels. So at the end of in a consortium meeting, what we did was to make a session in which, on this map, everybody put a post-it to say, oh, my task is here, my task is here, so that we were made sure that, how to say, all the tasks of the project were find their place in this framework. So now, and this brings to the breakout sessions, meaning that, so of course we cannot discuss everything, but we can still have other workshops in future, let's say. When we prepare this workshop, we decided to focus on some aspects. So first of all, we for the breakout sessions, we focus on the farm and the landscape level. We don't go beyond. because we don't want to overload. And the 3 sessions are about the definitions of mixedness, the meaning of the transition to mixedness, and the key challenges for mixed systems. So, and here you find the name of the chairs that kindly, and thank you, they kindly accepted to chair. One from Mixed and another from AGROMIX. And yeah, so let's see, and let's hope that there will be interactive sessions, and let's hope that they lead to interesting discussions. And yeah, so thank you for your attention.